Vanagon. I wanted to show you what the current state is, some of the things I've been working on. The engine sounds good. It's purring like a little kitty. Sounds just like a Volkswagen, which is nice, but a well-operating one.
So bear with me, I'm going to warn you, it is a longish video, but I do ramble along and hopefully you find the content interesting. It is kind of what it's like to own a 1984. It's quite an old vehicle, and there are a lot of little things that I'm discovering as I go through this thing. So if you're interested in buying one eventually, I think you still may find this helpful. So yeah, just stay tuned. Here you go. Thanks.
I've added new side view mirrors. I added all LED lights. Currently working on the instrument panel. The original instrument panel is a thin printed circuit board, which at the time they must have thought was really cool and high tech. The problem is it doesn't last. So I went with Go Westie's solution. They have an actual circuit board, and I'm gonna head over in this one section. I'll get out and I'll show the rest of the van. But yeah, the problem I'm having is the tachometer. Now this is a 1984 Wolfsburg edition, and it's interesting how like each little version of this thing, there's a different variant and things are wired up differently. And we're gonna back this in here. So on mine though, it didn't look like I needed to change anything, and I followed the directions, blah blah blah. Long story short, I'm working with Go Westie to try to solve the problemo. I don't know what it is, but what happens is the moment I just stick the key in with the engine off, speaking of that, there we go. Thing is, the dash is super easy to open. You just have to pull, like it sits here, and you just have to pull up on those things. I guess they imagine people were going to be doing that a lot, and believe it or not, when you own this thing, especially used, you do that a lot. So there's that. That's kind of been a long drawn out thing. Another item, let's give you this view. So again, I've added new side view mirrors. These are brand new. The originals were just like held on by literally like electrical tape, which was lame. The original, or the owner before me, I should say, installed this. It runs off of an auxiliary battery, which is back there under that seat. So they installed that. So that's kind of nice. It's not a lithium battery. It's like a car battery of some kind. Deep cycle, maybe, rather. Yeah, and again, I'm working on this thing, so it's a bit of a hot mess right now. But the circuit board, you can see here, and the tachometer wires. And of course, what's interesting too on mine, for those of you that get into, there's the Go Westie one, is the tack circuit. It's got a mini tack circuit board right there. I'm pointing at it, you can't see it. But that mini circuit board for mine is upside down. So it's like, really? So they do have it in the directions. Like if it's upside down, then you switch the wires around, and I did all that. Still doesn't work. So we're hoping to figure that part out. I replaced the speedo cable. I'll have a video on that. There's the speedo cable right there. And this is kind of annoying. Somehow we gotta have that in. But so actually that speedo cable thing was super easy. One thing is, it's funny because sometimes things in this thing are easy to fix on your own, but a lot of the time it just takes so much extra effort. Like, and that was amazing too. Like on the, for example, I replaced these guys with the dual valve for the windshield wipers, and so these are new. And in the video, they show, oh, you just take pliers and you kind of twist them and off they come. No, for me, I swear, each one was like a 30-minute wrestle. I was trying not to scratch up the paint. And so I finally got the originals off. Pain in the ass, and of course, there's not that much hose, not to keep complaining, but so you had to be super careful, because if it goes down in there, apparently it's like a big nightmare to try to get it, because once you remove this thing, and again, this is super easy, you just quarter turn, and this thing pops forward, so that's kind of nice. Again, it's like they sensed you were going to do tons of maintenance thing on this thing eventually. So once you do that, but then there's like a metal part of the firewall or something that you can't access these hoses. So I did, because the hose is so kind of jacked up over time, I went ahead and cut it there. I put in a splitter thing. I bought it on Amazon, just extra hose for the windshield fluid stuff. I'll put a link. And then I installed it down here, right down there. And I had to buy one of these on eBay because I found out this car didn't have one. So I had no reservoir for the fluid. Yeah, things I'm learning that I didn't know. Then this, I added on, it's got a little key thing, and this is manual, but it's telescopic. The original one wasn't. I kind of like that idea, so if I wanted to go to a car wash or something, I could just like lower it and it won't be an issue. I will eventually be replacing the seal. Go Westy sells window seals, because apparently this happens a lot. See this, just like old, I guess originally this was like a faux chrome, but just as you could tell over the years, it's really just been messed up. So then it ends up leaking. So you can apparently, it doesn't look that hard. That's, again, the videos make it sound really easy, but you cut this old one out and they give you the seal, and then even though the guy just grabs it with his hands, I'm probably going to get the suction cup thing. I saw it at O'Reilly Auto Parts, and I think it was for like the side of the car, but you use it for the window. Anyway, so I'm rambling. These are these are new windshield wipers, new headlights, because when I bought it, these were, I didn't realize it, but these were pretty damn cracked. And they were horrible, just not bright at all. So that's new. The speedo cable drops down in there and installs there. The horn, I'm still working on the wiring. It got kind of messed up. Now it'll stick sometimes and like go off, and actually you can see that shiny silver thing there. That's the manual one that I put in there, but sometimes it triggers the horn. It's not great. So many things that have to be replaced, like that one, the daytime nighttime thing doesn't work, broke off, so I'm getting a new one of those. The weather stripping here is all jacked up, but thank God there's one thing that the person I bought it from actually bought the kit from Go Westy but never installed it. So this is another one of my projects that I'm planning on doing. This was a cool find at Petco, and I'll leave a link for this. Oops, oh great. This is, oh great, really? What was that from? Anyway, this fits really tightly in there, but it fits. It's a metal pet cup, like I think it's a 12 ounce, and it's in the, I want to say the cat section, but it fits in there perfectly. And it's got these flared things, so, and it doesn't come out easily. I bought one before it, and that thing fell out on the road somewhere. Now people have done other things where they drill a hole and then like secure it somehow. I'm just not that crafty, so I need something that's super easy like that. These are all original, and I've got to replace these too. It's like 150 bucks to swap these out. So that's another project. My wallet screams every time I say that. This guy, the LP tank on this one, it works, but you can smell it, it leaks. So I've got to track it down, tighten something up, or just, again, on Go Westy, they sell it. You replace it and it's got all the newest, latest safety mechanisms on it. The tires are in relatively decent shape, but they're kind of lame, and they're super old, I think. Maybe not that old. I know the dates on here somehow, but like you can see how cracked it is. That's not the best. You don't want to be rolling around like that too much. It's got decent enough tread, but I'm getting all new tires. The brakes need to be replaced. They work, like it's okay, but then we went on a steep hill And on the passenger side over here, this side, it wasn't smoking, but it smelled really strong, and it started like seizing up, that sound when something's seizing up. So something definitely going on there. And it's like the pads have obviously been replaced, but it's all original mechanics, and I just don't think it can handle it. So I am looking at getting a conversion kit here. These are drums in the back, which are probably okay, but I'd like to get a conversion kit. All right, let's talk about the inside. They used to have an AC unit, which I removed. No, they removed, I should say. They removed it up here. I have the mount, so I could put the cabinetry back up here, but it does block, like the cabinet is gonna block visibility, and we're thinking instead of using like some duffel bags, just to put them back here when we're not sleeping. So our clothes would go in that, so instead of having this cabinet, we do it that way. And then there's a closet, but I removed it because I've been working on the engine so much. And not that the engine is that bad, but, and let's set the stand up, I will show you kind of its current state. So that's it in all its glory. So I've done a lot of cleanup work. It's looking pretty good. There was an AC compressor, which I had when I brought it in for service. I had those guys remove it, which they did, and that was nice. And then I have since removed the AC hoses. The only ones left, there's like a little bit of hose left up in the front, which eventually we'll get rid of it. But in general though, this thing is running in pretty good shape. I put a K&N air filter. This guy's new. What else do I have? I'm thinking of, oh yeah, this part, like the throttle control thing here. Again, I'm learning all my parts. I'm eventually gonna swap that unit out with Go Westie's version. It's like 250 bucks. But I was on the email with these guys, and they wanted me to wire up the vacuum hoses a certain way to match the Bentley manual. For those of you that know anything about Vanagons, the Bentley manual is like the Bible of this thing, and it shows you the way the hoses are supposed to go. And I had to add some, I'm gonna have to add some hose and then plug it up to the charcoal filter thing here, which mine is just like going, it's not plugged into anything, so that's supposed to go into there with a T-split. So I think over time people like do tweaks and they're like, you don't need that or whatever. So mine's kind of got that thing going on. But in general, the engine's really clean, so that part's good. But there's I haven't done too much other than this guy and the air filter. Oh, and yeah, the belts. I had the service guys put new belts on. They checked the spark plug, just thought everything was really good there. So yeah, there's that. So again, I took the closet out for two reasons, because I've been working on this thing a lot, even though you can still get that out. But then the closet had some sun damage over on this side, so I got to fix that and go from there. So that's what the inside from this direction looks like. Oh yeah, and then we're going to be replacing this, all of this inside stuff. Yeah, that's gonna, it's not horrible. It's like $350. I'm thinking of going with like the wood. They've got vinyl. Maybe that's better, because like if you're greasy and you have wood, you're gonna, I can see that being a problem, where this is kind of, you can wipe that down, right? So we're looking at options. We haven't committed to anything yet. And then this was from the AC unit. So again, the closet things here, I plugged these up because that's direct access to the engine underneath. And again, LED lights now all in the back. As far as the body, it's in decent shape. There are some dings and scratches, and in some ways I kind of like its original look too. Let let's get this open. All right, here's the other door. Oh yeah, battery. Okay, here, let's get this. All right, now this lock wasn't matching the key for the other 3 locks, and then I went and saw a locksmith. He duplicated the key that I had there to help me out. So this has 4 locks, 1, 2, so the passenger, driver's side, rear lock, and this lock. This one was the only one that wasn't matching. So I said, hey, can you key it? He's like, I tell you what, I'll save you some money. Okay, that's locked. Now it's not locked. So he said, all you have to do, so when by the way, this is super easy to remove. You just take that screw out, you pop this thing with like a bicycle tire plastic thingy, and that comes off, and there's one more screw. There's only a single screw holding this on, and then that slides out. Then there's like another screw underneath here that lets you pull out the lock mechanism itself, cylinder. And what he said is those little pins, you can just file them down. Anything that's not exactly flush, because it needs to be flush to turn, you just file it down. And it still acts like a lock. It's not like you're breaking the lock. It still works. So anyway, yeah, I did that, and that was really nice of him to do that. Here's the battery. This was today's project. I added a little rope here to pull out the battery a lot easier, because if you didn't do that, man, it's super tricky. So and then these are like little protective things, which I need to put on there a little better. And then this is the original Dealy Bob. I know this is not the best design. They don't give you a lot of room. There we go. That's like a metal plate on top of a battery. Doesn't, you know, like shorting it out, that just doesn't seem like a good design. This carpet is hideous. That's pretty much a fact. So we're ordering new carpet. Again, not terribly expensive, but it's a thing. It's every time I say there's something new. The bed works well. It has 2 seat belts, which is kind of a bonus. We have 2 daughters, so they can always ride in the back, which is good. These guys removed the heater. Let's move this. How's it go? I'm still learning things, and my hand's a little dirty now. There's the battery. They put an auxiliary battery in there and got rid of the heater. So I don't know why. Oh, there's another towel. I gotta take that out. But they did. And there's a hole going through to the floor. Oh, there's a couple holes. That must have been where the heater was. So yeah, there's that. That happened. And then what else? This I'm gonna fix. This is loosely placed there. You've got cabinets. This is the refrigerator. I don't know if this thing works yet. I have no idea. I tried it with electricity and it didn't seem to work. The gas, I can't really try because that thing's leaking right now. So again, I mean, I got a decent enough deal on this thing at $13,200, but it's got some issues too. So like it's kind of good and bad. Here's the thing where you turn on the battery, you can see the battery level, and that's of the auxiliary battery. And then the water. We drained the water for now because we just didn't want water sitting in there. And you got a couple of cabinets. The stove part is in really good shape. And then the tent needs to be replaced. So that's like $350, I think, for the tent. $350 for the new LP tank, and that doesn't even include installing the new LP tank. The brakes, if I get the conversion kit for the back, as a company down in San Diego, he has a kit, and I don't know if I'm gonna go with that one, but that's $800, not installed. The front brakes, Go Westy sells a bigger brake set, but they're sold out and they're looking at refactoring it. So I might wait to see what they come up with. Because when you do the bigger hills, like I was in Laguna Beach, that's when it started smoking. I just don't want to be in that situation because we are planning on being mobile. We're planning on going in the hills. We just don't want to We don't want to be in a situation where we're having to worry about mechanics on the side of the road, right? Because you don't always have cell sight and everything. This I replaced, that was cheap. These front LED housing unit thingies I had to replace with the African style, because this one over here, when I was switching it out with LED, I took out the bulb and turned it upside down and just water poured out, which you don't want, obviously, so I had to get new ones there. So in general, I mean, it's a fun car. It's in relatively good shape. Bought it for $13,200. I'll put a list together of all the expenses that I've spent already, and you'll see that breakdown. So see how it goes. All right, y'all take care. Give you some idea of what it's like. Here you can listen to it start up before I was already started. So let's do that. Slam the door, take it out of gear. I'll just take my foot off the gas, put the clutch in, and I won't push the gas. Let's just see how it sounds. Perfect. That's what you want to hear. And one last thing I want to change out is Go Westy cells. It's a little expensive, like 110-ish bucks each, I think. What's that? It's longer receivers and actually new belts and longer receivers. They don't sell the receivers, of course, separately. That would make way too much sense. So yeah, there's that. More money. All right, guys. Well, I'm trying to keep it under 20. That's kind of the goal. This thing has a great turning radius, by the way. Just amazing. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I truly appreciate it. We will be chatting with you later. Take care. Bye.